The space race between billionaires is getting very competitive, and all the world's richest guys want to one-up each other. It seems that Earth is just too small for their aspirations. Right after Sir Richard Branson's spaceflight, Jeff Bezos also launched to space aboard the New Shepard rocket. It seems that Amazon's main man has plenty in his mind, and in this video, we are going to discuss his deals with NASA. For everyone to gain context, let's discuss where it all started first. In April of this year, SpaceX, Elon Musk's company, won the $2.9 billion contract from NASA to build the moon lander. SpaceX bested Blue Origin's, Jeff Bezos' company, and others in a bid to carry American astronauts to the moon. Musk's company is said to be also developing Starship, a giant rocket that would one day take people to Mars. However, first on its agenda is to take astronauts from lunar orbit to the moon's surface. This contract is proof that NASA is quickly relying on private companies to get people to space. In the battle of space billionaires, it seems that Musk has an edge over his fiercest competitors. His company has now become the highest profile partner of NASA in its spaceflight program. The Biden administration has promised to include the first person of color as well as the first woman on their next moon mission, and it's very likely that people will be seeing them on a vehicle from SpaceX. NASA's program manager has said that they are confident that SpaceX will be able to help them achieve their mission. NASA mentioned that it had taken a few things in mind when awarding the contract to SpaceX. It cited funding shortfalls, the proven record of SpaceX, and other factors in its decision. They also said that SpaceX gave the best value to the government. Evidently, one person was disappointed upon hearing the decision, and that was none other than Jeff Bezos. After all, he was hoping his company would get picked. He wasn't going to let SpaceX take his shine away. Because he didn't succeed, Bezos resorted to hiring a lawyer and suing NASA. They made quite a few complaints about the decision to award SpaceX with the contract. They made protests to the U.S. Government Accountability Office, or GAO, but those were all denied. GAO considered the complaints of the aggrieved parties before they finally rejected them in late July. GAO explained that NASA's decision was consistent, reasonable, and consistent with the applicable law. Furthermore, SpaceX submitted the lowest price proposal, and it comes with the highest rating, so there's no reason to choose other companies over it. This makes sense because why would you hire a company that costs more? Blue Origin's bid was substantially higher in price, and it was reportedly as much as $5.9 billion. However, before GAO gave its verdict, Blue Origin made a clarification that the real reason they objected to the award was that they weren't given a chance to lower their price to fit NASA's budget once they found out that there won't be enough funds for a second human landing system from a different provider. In a letter sent to Bill Nelson, NASA's administrator, Bezos said his company would waive payments in the current fiscal year and the next ones, and that amounts to a staggering $2 billion. Bezos also offered to conduct a Pathfinder mission to low Earth orbit of the lunar descent element to further retire development and schedule risk free of charge. It seems that Bezos was feeling very generous and wanted to make NASA an offer it couldn't refuse. 4 days after the letter was sent, GAO quashed Blue Origin's protest. Although things are not going his way, Bezos is not discouraged and is bent on pursuing the contract with NASA. Despite not getting a callback from the agency on his offer to cut back the price drastically and to do something for free, he still has one card to play. He's at it once more by challenging GAO's decision in the U.S. Court of Federal Claims to file a federal lawsuit challenging the decision. They are challenging NASA's unlawful and improper evaluation of the proposals that were submitted. The lawsuit was filed on the 13th of August in the Court of Federal Claims. NASA had already started paying SpaceX for them to get the job done, but now they don't have any choice but to put everything on hold. Last week, Blue Origin released information that mentioned that Starship is a launch vehicle that has never flown to orbit and is still being designed. In response to Blue Origin, SpaceX's CEO, Musk, shared his view of the criticism and Bezos' company. The sad thing is that even if Santa Claus suddenly made their hardware real for free, the first thing you'd want to do is cancel it, Musk wrote in a tweet. He's not going to take it sitting down, and he's ready to battle Bezos and his company. What does this mean for investors? SpaceX's plan might be branded as high risk, but Blue Origin's decision to sue an entity that it hopes to become its biggest paying customer is not such a good idea, don't you think? We don't see any good coming from Bezos' actions. The federal claims will review the case, and although they are not bound by GAO's decision, the facts of the case remain the same. The same facts that convinced GAO might just vindicate NASA's decision to award it to SpaceX. Even if Blue Origin wins the case, we don't see them walking away with the contract, as NASA has previously stated that they don't have the budget to pay for two different HLS systems as of the moment. We're not sure what Bezos was thinking when he decided to sue, but he runs the risk of creating an ill will that could cost them a shot at future moon contracts. Why would you antagonize somebody you hope to do business with? A company that could give you millions, no, even billions of dollars. NASA, after all, made it very clear back in April that there are future opportunities that other companies can benefit from. NASA promised it would implement a competitive procurement for sustainable crewed lunar surface transportation services that will provide human access to the lunar surface using the Gateway on a regularly recurring basis beyond the initial crewed demonstration mission. Future projects may not be as high profile as the ones Bezos is fighting for currently, but when added together, these contracts could amount to billions of dollars of revenue for whichever company it will be awarded to. By forcing NASA to hire Blue Origin, Bezos is basically jeopardizing his business, and he might not even get his hands on a single contract at all. The last time a human landing system was built for NASA was back in 1962, and that's almost 60 years ago. Proposals were solicited in July, and by November, a contractor had already been chosen. Grumman was awarded the contract. The company is now known as Northrop Grumman, and they continue to build spacecraft for NASA to this day. Over the next few years, man landed on the moon several times, and Bezos is a fan of aerospace history. As a matter of fact, their vehicles are named for the pioneering astronauts that worked for NASA. He scheduled his inaugural spaceflight to coincide with the anniversary of the touchdown of Apollo 11. The capsule had an abundance of mementos enough to make up for a museum exhibit. However, Bezos is not just a man who loves to pay homage to his idols, he wants to be front and center of all the action, and he wants to be instrumental in contributing pieces that will also find their place in museums. When the announcement was made in April by NASA, a lot of people were actually surprised. They were not surprised that SpaceX was picked, rather they were surprised because only one company was chosen. Why? Because since Apollo 11, NASA has shifted toward the selection of more than a single recipient for its contracts. This is to ensure that there is a backup should the original chosen company back out and that there is healthy competition. However, this time around, NASA doesn't have the budget to pay more than a single manufacturer. Aside from Blue Origin, another competitor, Dynetics, also filed a protest with the federal agency. They were also disappointed with the decision made by NASA. Unlike most companies that choose to wait for the verdict, Bezos did something which nobody has ever done before, and that is an offer to slash his prices and throw in a free test launch, as previously mentioned. People were asking if it was even legal to do so. It was certainly unconventional, but there was nothing illegal about it. Others were asking why Blue Origin didn't just bid with a cheaper price in the first place when it can afford to slash so much from its price. Experts are saying that Bezos and his company misjudged the market and now are trying to rectify its costly mistake by slashing its prices so it can compete with Musk's company. But NASA didn't take the bait. They stood firm and left the moon contract with SpaceX. Aside from questioning NASA's decision, Bezos has also resorted to criticizing SpaceX's design publicly. Starship, according to them, is not only complicated but risky. This has caused some people to raise their eyebrows because unlike the company they are questioning, Blue Origin has yet to fly a rocket or ferry passengers into orbit. So, what gives them the right or expertise to say so much about SpaceX? It seems that the battle for NASA's moon contract has quickly escalated into a battle of huge egos. What do you think of Bezos taking the issue to the federal court? Do you think they will win? Hey, we'll see you in our next video.